friends. Welcome to a 10-min book review. Shut up. I'm 10.
I'm having a heart attack.
Okay. Yay. Yay. Okay. So this week's book review is going to be on...
Oh. The deep.
This book...
The deep.
Oh my god. You worthless, yo. Why 2 dies of an asthma attack? We're trying to keep going. So this week's review is going to be on... Oh, you can't even see it. The Deep by River Solomon. We listened to it as an audiobook. It's okay, people. She's not really dead. She's just dramatic. So we listened to it as an audiobook. It was read by Devaughn Diggs, who plays Rainbow's brother in Blackish. She's alive! Thank the Lord.
See, that's the problem. That's the problem.
Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Took the wheel and brought it back.
Oh God.
Anyway, so
okay.
we like to start off every review with a star point, as in how many stars did this book garner out of 10, and a rating, as in if this is a movie or a TV show, what would we rate it?
Oh my God.
So I think this book kind of teetered between a 7 and an 8. It never quite got to a 10. It was good, but it meandered. It definitely wasn't bad, so it's not beneath the scale. So I'm in between a 7 and an 8.
Me too.
We know you're 2, but what is your what is your star point? 2?
My head hurt. It's on the same.
I need a new family.
It's on the same.
I need a new family member.
You do.
Are there any left in this house?
Oh God, they back.
Okay,
I'm back there.
Let me just pause really quick. Change. Somebody, please. No. No.
Ma, you want to sit in for me?
She don't like you no more than I do. You heard the smoke alarm. That wasn't her response. That was the smoke alarm. Smoke alarm like, no. No. Yeah.
You make it sound like we all do.
Anyway. Back to the task at hand.
Oh God.
So the book starts off with a young woman by the name of Yitu. So her people are supposed to be descendants of slave women who were tossed overboard after they were kidnapped for being pregnant. Apparently the slavers thought that their pregnancy was too much of a problem to be brought over, and so they would throw them over. So the truth to this is that 1, they were thrown over, and also 2, that babies can breathe in the, biblical fluid. They can breathe in biblical fluid. So by theory, just by theory, if a woman was to be submerged in water, her child could perhaps continue on living, possibly, if the apparatuses that allow them to breathe the amniotic fluid existed. It's theory.
Fine,
it's science fiction.
That's fine.
I said the 2 things
that's perfect.
The 2 things that are true.
Yes.
So we need.
Because it was just driving my mind crazy, because it's like, it just went full.
That's what drove your mind
throttle.
crazy.
Yes, it drove my mind crazy.
That's the part that threw. Like that part. Okay. Anyway.
No, what you just said.
Anyway. So this book likes to play on the fact that fish in general, aquatic animals and aquatic non-mammals in general, have poor memories or short memories. And so these creatures are no different than most. They have short memories. So what they can remember is short-term stuff like or long-term stuff like their name, their mother, their home. What they can't remember is like, what did they do last year? Who's their great aunt?
Logically.
Yeah, like they can remember who their mate is, but they can't remember like who their third cousin was or something like that. And so they have people, or one person I should say, who's called the historian. And Yetu was chosen as a historian by the previous historian, and she started at the age of 14, which I feel like is kind of young. Because of this, it's made her behave as though she's schizophrenic. So she has all these memories playing around in her head that belong to other people. And because she has all these memories from other people in her head, sometimes they take over. And so she's no longer seeing the world around her. She's seeing the world that was around so-and-so from 100 years ago because she has that memory. Now, they share memories through electronic pulses. And so basically, to put in perspective, let's say my memory is shot, because it is. And I'm like, hey, I really liked the movie we went to go see last week, but I'm probably gonna forget that I liked it.
You do that.
I do that. So let me just electric pulse you with my opinions and my favorite parts. And she's like, I didn't really want that, but now I have it. And so now she's sleeping and she's thinking, oh my god, the door! And that's a cute dog, and all the things that I thought from the movie. And these aren't her thoughts, but I've already electric pulsed her with my thoughts. And so later on I'm like, hey, do you remember that movie I liked? That had some stuff in it I liked?
You do that.
I do. Can you electric pulse me back? And so she electric pulses me back my memories. Except this poor girl has thousands of memories over hundreds of years in her. And that causes her to do something nearly suicidal. She's not suicidal, but she was caught up in a memory and she cut herself and deliberately swam into shark-infested water. And her mother, who she calls a maba, that's just what mothers are called in the book, saved her from the sharks and swam her back.
It's something like how whales are, though, mammals. If they can save you, like their babies, they're very protective of their babies.
Except her maba is just like her, though. It's like her maba remembers, I have a daughter I love. One interesting thing they brought out, like an example of how their memory works. Because Yetu is the historian, her memory is fortified, so her memory is good. So she said that her and her mother had a tumultuous relationship after she had been chosen as a historian. All her mother can remember of that, though, is that it was a bumpy relationship, but that they got over it. She doesn't remember the hurtful things that she said to Yetu, or the hurtful things she did to Yetu, or the hurtful things that Yetu did back to her. All she remembers is we had a bumpy relationship, and that's it. Well, I shouldn't say it. They can remember certain events happen, but they can't remember what those events are. Like if I say I remember I gave birth to my child, I just don't remember when his birthday was. But I know I gave birth to him. Kind of like that. They have this event every year called the Remembering, where she, as the historian, is responsible for giving them back the memories that she's holding on to, which date back all the way to when the first slave children, well, first slave mothers were thrown overboard.
What a memory to have, right?
I know. And that's one of the things that, like, kills her. Because not kills her, but yeah. That's one of the things that bothers her so much, because she's remembering these people drowning. And that's why she tried to kill herself, because she could remember, even though she's aquatic, she could remember the feeling of drowning. And so she's like, oh my god, I'm drowning. Oh my god, I'm drowning. So she's cutting herself because she's like, I'm drowning. I have to get out. I have to get out. But it's like, dude, you're a fish. Where are you gonna go? It's like,
I'm not in her mind. She was a fish at the time.
Exactly. So most of the historians would do different interesting things to share their history, like make up a song, pantomime, something like that. She is like, nah, bruh, I'm going through it. You gonna go through it too. We gonna go through this together. I'm in pain. You gonna be in pain. So she gives them the histories. And once they're incapacitated, once all of her people are incapacitated with the histories, once it's all out of her, she has a thought. Like, this history is killing me. Because whenever she's taken over by the histories, like whenever it overpowers her, she'll do things like not eat or harm herself. And when the book starts, she hadn't eaten in a couple of months, or maybe a month or two, 6 months, something like that. She'd been away for about 6 weeks, 6 months, something with a 6 in it. And she had starved herself to the point where she barely had enough fat on her body to keep her warm in the water. So she's like, if I stay, I'm going to die. So she's like, have you ever heard of running away with the plug? Instead of running away with the plug, she kind of left the plug and ran. So, yeah, so that's saying run away with the plug. She left the plug with them and ran. To swear she didn't grow up in the same exact place I grew up. She swears she didn't.
I didn't.
She lived in an alternate universe of New Jersey. She lived in an alternate universe of New Jersey. It's Jersey New. Anyway.
I may as well be.
So, yeah. She basically bounced, like, left them all the history and bounced out. Like, she dipped on all of them. So, yeah.
Okay.
While she's away, she gets hurt. I'm not going to say how that happens, but she gets hurt. She meets a human by the name of Yuri? I think it was Yuri. And we get to question Yitu through Yuri. Like, you get to become... The reader gets into the story through her. There was this interesting part where Yuri is naked, like she's bathing in a wading pool or some kind of tidal pool, like the ones you find on the beach where the water comes in. But she's bathing in a tidal pool, and Yetu's in the tidal pool. So, like, you know, she's just there and whatever. And this isn't a big deal for Yetu because most of her people are just naked. You know, because they're fish. They're not wearing clothes. They're naked. So the fact that Yuri is naked too isn't bothersome to her. But she has some questions. So Yetu is like, you know, some of your people have something that protrudes out of their body in between their legs. And some of you don't. Is yours hiding, like, are you keeping yours inside of yourself until you're about to mate and then it's going to come out? Because she's thinking of them like a clam, or like how her people are, which are like clams, or like how something, I think it's called mussels. What are those things called? Barnacles, like how some barnacles are that way.
Like octopus?
I don't know about octopus, but I know barnacles, when they mate, they can choose whether they have a protrusion come out or whether they're entered. So it's not, even though they could be decisively male or decisively female, they can choose whether or not they're going to impregnate someone with sperm or be impregnated because they have eggs. That's how Yetu's people are. So it's not really a taboo type of a thing. And this catches Yuri off guard a little bit, which it would catch anybody off guard. She's like, no, there are male genitalia, there's female genitalia. Isn't it the same way with you? And so Yetu makes it clear, like, no, there are males and females, but how we mate is based upon the need, I guess. Like, if we need more babies, more of us will have eggs. If we need less babies, more of us will have sperm. Like, you know, it's based on the need. And so we kind of learn about how their anatomy works in that way. There's kind of a romance in it. It does not make sense, so I'm not even going to go into that. The ending, in my personal opinion, makes no sense. So I'm not going to ruin the ending. But here's my mindset, right? If we're taking the first 2 points that we know to be true. 1, they were throwing women overboard. We know that to be a fact. Pregnant women, we know that to be a fact. And 2, babies, while they're in the womb, have the ability to breathe in liquid. So, and then we're making up the speculation that it is perhaps possible that if left in the liquid, they may be able to adapt and still survive. This is what we're speculating. This is what we're making up. Now, this is as a baby that's not fully formed. How can a human being who is fully formed be able to adapt in the same way that a baby would? Okay, so you know, like a baby, how like a little child can learn a new language, and like a baby can understand certain cues in different languages. You know, not speak but understand those cues. That's a little baby who has no concept of what the world is supposed to look like, or supposed to feel like, or supposed to hear. Now, as an adult, it's not like that. If someone walked up to me and just speaking normally, not yelling or anything, but said something to me in Mandarin.
Yeah.
I wouldn't understand. Yeah, like
right.
if they're saying food or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
So on the same premise, these babies are able to adapt to the water because they've come out of a water situation and right into another water situation.
Mm-hmm.
How can a human being whose body has acclimated to land, who's acclimated to air, who is an air breather, be able to somehow acclimate to the water? This book is not based on magic. There's no magic in this book. This book is supposed to be all scientific, but it's supposed to be the science of this world, if that makes any sense. It's not like Ariel, how like a witch turned her into a girl or something. Yeah. But that's what happened,
You know where
right?
my mind is going, right?
Right,
food for thought, this is not the Little Mermaid.
It's not. It's not.
If you think anything like Little Mermaid, you way off. Oh my God. I don't even know if I should say this because I don't want to sound mean.
They're not real people.
No, I'm talking about as far as like, we're laughing about this. We've been laughing about a few things in the beginning. Do you look at us and say that we're like a critic?
We can be critical of things, yeah. If you have something critical you want to say about it.
Okay, I'm hearing kind of like just say it. Okay. What I would like to know.
I didn't hear anybody say that.
Yeah, I know nobody said it, but it's kind of like one of them things is kind of like blaring off in my head.
Okay.
And I'm trying not to, but it's kind of like I can't help it. Because I'm going to burst if not. I would just like to know, because of the fact that this is a book based on scientific, you're taking certain things of history, and which is true. But the fact that it's spun a certain way, the way that some people's minds work, they will base this on the idea of evolutionary theory. Except mermaids are able to talk like us. Sometimes they're not, where they do have their own language with the basically. So it's like, okay,
if you're a mermaid, don't come for us. We're not aquatic races. Don't come for us. We have no money.
We sure don't. Even if we did.
We are not monetized. We are too small. This shirt is from Walmart. Do not come for us.
Oh, you can't have my clothes.
Her tie is fake.
My tie is real. I got this from Spencer's.
Her tie is fake. Don't come for us.
This thing called Don't Come For Us. Yes, it is. It's fake. It's fake. Not fake.
These earrings were 99 cents at Rainbow Shop. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I guess I should keep my hand down. But it's like, this is the idea that's kind of being sketched out here. It's being kind of spun a little bit in the way of evolution, to kind of look at it to say, hey, because there are people who do believe in evolution, and they would look at this and say that's possible, even though the parent was a slave. This is two humans. But the fact of knowing, okay, the gills, and the fact of the evolvement, you know what I mean?
I'm thinking of it in a different way. So like, have you ever I don't think it's legal to do here, but there are some people who will buy parrots or parakeets or cockatiels, and they will cut some of their feathers, like go to the vet and have it cut.
You're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, I think it's illegal here.
That's like with the dog's ears. They do that, so you're not supposed to do that either. That's harm.
But they will do it.
Yeah.
And so if these cockatiels or parakeets or what have you
I love a little
have a baby,
so
first of all, these cockatiels, if it's done when they were a baby, it's been shown that they'll have stronger legs. Not because they evolved, it's the same animal, but because it had to use its legs and its beak because it can't fly. So its legs are its only mode of transportation. So their legs are stronger than the average bird. And if they have children, they don't know how to fly. So their children will walk too, and they'll have stronger legs. And so if you put this group of, we'll just say cockatiels. If you put this group of cockatiels who parent...
You say cockatiels.
Mm-hmm.
I say cockatoo. Cockatoos.
They're two different animals.
I say cockatoos.
Okay, let's say cockatoos. So if we take these cockatoos who were born of parents whose wings were clipped, even though they have the ability to fly, they're physically able to fly, and compare them to cockatoos who were born of parents who were able to fly, no cuttings, you would look at their legs and think, why are these animals different looking? Like, why does this bird over here look like Debo about to steal somebody's bike, and this one over here looks like a regular bird? So it's not that they have become two different species. They've adapted in two different ways. This bird has become strong with wings because it flies. This bird is weak in wings because it doesn't fly. It doesn't have any use for them. This bird is weak in legs. It can't walk a long period because it hasn't used its legs for that. It can fly. This bird has strong legs because it can't fly, so it needs to walk a long distance. So it's not that they're two different species. They have adapted in two different ways. And so when I look at Yitu's people, I don't really see them as a different species. I see they've adapted in a different way.
It definitely summarizes the theory of separating the two, but helping to understand it.
And the science of it.
Right. So that way it shows that it's not a basis of evolution. Because the other thing that went through my head was something not nice. And I was trying hard to basically not say it. So it's like, I think this is better on just explaining it this way, because quite honestly, I thought...
Oh my God. First of all, you are correct. Just say what you said.
And I didn't want to say that.
Just say, because that's what it's actually based on. It's based on DeVoe, something like that. They're singers. I'll try to put it in the comments, but
yes.
So she was like, I thought that people who wrote this were.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it because it
on one. We'll say it like that. She thought the people who wrote this were on one.
I thought not just one. Book was done. That there must have been like quite a number of marijuana sticks going on here.
Marijuana sticks?
Yes.
I feel like I don't even know you.
Blunts, fine. Blunts, marijuana sticks, whatever you want to call this. That's all I heard.
Why is it in my head all I can see is someone smoking glue sticks?
Yeah, it may as well be. Cause this, I'm telling you.
Stay away from marijuana sticks, kids.
Oh, it's a plant.
I've never heard of marijuana sticks.
Yeah, marijuana sticks. Yeah, marijuana sticks.
There have been many people in the past who have believed that something like this can be possible, only because I think hope is such... It alleviates the human suffering.
It takes away the pain, yes.
Yeah. The idea of stealing someone from their land to be turned into a slave is unimaginable. But the idea of throwing a pregnant woman in the throes of labor overboard so that her and her child can drown to death is horrifying. And so to know that this was in history, it's like people want to try to find a silver lining. Like, what good could have come out of this? What good could have happened because of this? And in the real world, we know there was no good. You just had two dead people, the mother and the child.
Yes.
But that's the good thing about writing science fiction and speculative fiction. It's the what if that keeps you going. That's the beauty of the what if. It makes history not hurt so bad, because at least you can imagine that it turned out a different way. Well, this has been...
Oh my God. This has been fun.
Yep. Thank you so much for watching. Yep.
Yes.
And once again, it was The Deep. It was by River Solomon.
Right. I should have showed you right. Yeah, River Solomon.
River Solomon. And it was read
by... Or David? You said
David.
Yeah, David Diggs.
That's the blurry picture.
I know.
Another one.
I know.
Yeah, it was read by
William
David
Hudson
Diggs.
And Jonathan Snipe.
I'm not sure what those two did, no honesty.
Well,
I'm not sure.
They're still included. You got to give some kind of recognition to these people, even still.
Okay, William Hudson, if you're out there, thank you. And
Jonathan Snipes.
Jonathan Snipes, I guess you're Wesley's cousin, so what's up?
I'm so...
Let's get that Demolition Men Part 2.
Oh!
Let's get that rolling.
You are the worst.
Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. Bye, Bookends.
Bye.